So welcome ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's video. We are heading back to the FIFA career mode because we're going to summarize things today. There's a good article out from the old What Culture. I'll leave the link for it directly in the description, but we're going to go over it today with the 10 changes that you may need to know. It's up to you if you want to know them, but we're going to go over them because a summarized video is always better. And then we're going to get back to constant gameplay, folks. Honestly, once FIFA is out, then we're going to be back to it. I've been very busy lately as well with work and stuff, and we've got eFootball Universe kind of in the works as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of big plans coming, but we'll get there eventually. It's just, you know, busy times. And like I said before, eFootball is just not interesting me right now, and we're just covering the news. Anyway, let's dive into it. So, here we go. 10 changes you need to know or want to know. And let's dive into number 10. So, as we know, we've got the playable highlights. And personally for myself, this might be something I use. So, pretty much think of this as an extension of the quick sim option that was there before. But instead of watching little counters dash about the place for the full 90 minutes, FIFA will offer you playable chunks from the match in question as an alternative. This should save time, but it remains to be seen whether or not it means lower quality teams will just be defending all the time. So there we have it. That's pretty much sums it up. And as I said, this is something that I myself might use. You know I keep mentioning that FIFA's gameplay is not the most exciting, and it isn't. But when you're kind of doing a season and you want to get things done, yes, this generally, I think, is a favorable thing to add to the game. So, yeah, you know, fair enough, fair enough. Now, moving on to number 9, they've changed the menus. Ooh, very exciting. So, when gamers everywhere sat down to furnish their own wish list for FIFA 23, it's doubtful anyone put new menus near the top. Very true. This doesn't sound too exciting, to be fair, and it's slightly worrying that EA thinks a new menu will get everyone buzzing. Still counts as a change, though. On the plus side, it is nice to hear that things like player scouting, contracts set to expire, jobs that are vacant, etc. will now be on the same page. Sure, this is one of the less thrilling changes, but it could be deceptively nice quality. Is that right? Deceptively? Yeah, nice quality of life improvement for the mode. So there we have it, new menus. Now, yeah, that wasn't really a massive change. I mean, if Konami came out and said, we've changed the menus for eFootball, I don't think anyone would go crazy, but the menus on FIFA are a little bit more respectable. So yeah, it's not a massive change, but it's a change. So there we go. That is number 9. Moving on to number 8, they have revamped pre-season tournaments. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I never really played a whole lot of pre-season, to be honest. If it actually did more, I probably would. Anyway, goodbye bizarrely long pre-season tournaments of yesteryear. EA has scrapped those in favor of 3-match round robins. In FIFA 23, each tourney will have 8 teams, but they'll only play 3 times, so it sounds like the emphasis will be on scoring lots of goals, winning them via goal difference. The developers also claim these pre-season tournaments or matches will happen closer to the full campaign kicking off too, which means squad rotation will be very important. Put it this way, you don't want to win the Gold Cup, or some bollocks, over in the United States 1 minute, then find your Liverpool team riddled with injuries and fatigue before facing Arsenal in the league opener. So there we go. Not a big one for me. As I said, I don't really play a whole lot of pre-season. Maybe if you brought in some new blood in the team and you want to give them a bash, but it's a minor change, but it is a change. Now, moving in at number 7, they have got third Goalkeeper Kits. What do you guys make of that one? Right, this is a confusing one. EA's language was a bit unclear when they were discussing this, but it looks like you'll be able to create customizable third kits for authentic clubs in FIFA 23. Now, it does say authentic clubs. The same with goalie kits too. One of the pitch notes vids showed off personalized home, away, third, and goalkeeper strips. The long and short of it is that you might be able to circumvent real-world licensing issues by switching up your home kit every season. There's nothing stopping players from picking that third kit from 4 home matches in the menus, which means more replicas of real-world faves or maybe even retro kits. So there we have it. Summed up. 3rd Goalkeeper Kits. And as I said, a little bit confusing at times, but you know, you've got more ways to customize your kits. Moving on now to number 6, we have more customization in Create a Club. So as we know, last year's Create a Club edition was fun for a while. Yeah, I kind of jumped on the bandwagon and then jumped off. Got kind of bored of it. But things felt a bit too samey eventually. There were no real unique challenges that made creating a new team from scratch appealing, and it wasn't hard to rocking up the rankings to become Premier League champions after a season or two. FIFA 23 won't change your chances of success, but it will offer up new customization tools. You'll now be able to fully customize the club before launching a save. That means changing player names, heights, weight, appearances, their preferred positions, key attributes, and what animations they use out on the pitch. And there we go. It does say, sadly, it doesn't look like this freedom will extend to stadiums, though. I'm sure someone said that you could do more things with the stadiums. It was lies. So there we have it, though. Number 6, you got more customization when you're creating your club. I mean, it's not a bad thing, is it? More customization. I mean, a lot of us are PES heads, and we've always had that edit mode. Always had the ability to edit kits anyway. Right, number 5, new cutscenes. Now, this is an interesting one, and I think we're all kind of intrigued to see how it will play out. One thing FIFA 23 will have boatloads of new cutscenes. Maybe. In typical fashion, EA refuses to call them just that. That's funny. No, they're dynamic moments. It's all about the wording. I mean, you have to. It's marketing. That's what it is. And include such things as seeing top signings being unveiled to the media properly rather than in those tiny boxes on the menus. Progress is progress, people. The devs are also promising more training ground stuff, interviews, and shorter cutscenes for things like Manager of the Month. There's no word yet on whether or not bagging some of these monthly awards will lead to a pat on the back from the club board. Those who like the current transfer negotiations suite will be pleased to know that it's sticking around. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't look like characters will be voiced at all, so that means more miming managers and subtitles. That would be quite good, though, wouldn't it, if you had Pep Guardiola in there? Yes, I think we played well. And then he's voice acting himself. But I think that might be a little bit extreme. I don't think managers are going to want to sit there and do pre-recorded while we're in the middle of a season. No. All right, number 4, you'll have a transfer analysis, folks. So those negotiations are about to be souped up a little too. Your transfer analyst's main job is to let you know just how smart potential buys are. They won't only analyze things financially, but they'll also do it squad-wise too. So, for example, say you're on the hunt for a world-class centre forward, the analyst might point out that you already got Lewandowski, Haaland, and Mbappe under contract. Then they'll advise you that you should spread the wealth and actually buy a new right back for once. I'm half asleep. Or how about a goalkeeper, considering the one you've got is 40 and has artificial limbs? Beautiful. It's also cool to hear that loans will be included in this logic game too. After all, why loan another midfielder when you're short on defenders? Sounds like Man United, to be honest. We need so many players, but they never buy anyone. Right, so there we have it. You'll have a transfer analysis in at number 4. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, you know, it is a bit of a pain trying to buy players and scout players and, you know, making things easier. Yeah, always helps. Number 3, we've got different player personality archetypes. So, real-life footballers have different styles on the pitch. In FIFA 23, that'll be reflected, but their real-world personalities off the field will be part of the package as well. All in all, the game will serve up 3 different kinds of players. Now, we spoke about this before. So we've got your Mavericks, who are aggressive go-getters who enjoy being treated like kings off the park. You've got Virtuosos, if that's how you say it, I don't know. Meanwhile, who are most likely skilled ballers, and they'll have a big impact during key moments. Make sure that's rewarded too. Finally, heartbeat. Players are selfless sods who put the team's goals before their own. Individual players will earn skill points in preset categories depending on what happens during games. A Maverick won't like sitting on the bench when they feel they could change the match, but a heartbeat player won't mind being subbed off as much if your decision proves to be correct. So it's got a little bit of RPG goodness in it. And I believe this is for like player career, right? Does this happen in... I think this happens in actual career mode. I mean, this is just like the actual player career, the player that you are. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe you can mix and match. But anyway, there it is. That's in at number 3. Now, number 2, on the fly AI tactics. Now, this is a big one because will this actually work? That's what I'm wondering. You've probably already heard all of this before. Yeah, we have. And on-the-fly tactical tweaks is something EA has experimented with in the past. However, they were mainly on the player side. In FIFA 23, the AI is much smarter and will adapt to situations just like you. That's all well and good, but it also be nice if teams like Accrington Stanley stopped becoming peak Messi-led Barcelona when they're 1-0 down. Yes. The pesky scripting needs to go, basically. EA can feign ignorance about it until they're blue in the face. But anyone who has played career mode for years knows it exists. It does. It definitely exists on the higher difficulties. That's why I generally try and stay around like world class, because that is annoying, isn't it? When you play someone like Barnett, for example, and they turn into Man City or Liverpool. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, yeah, we'll see how this works. It's an interesting one. It is about, gameplay, so it's important, but time will tell. And finally, number 1, you can play as and customize real-life managers. So, this is the enhancement most seem happy about. I mean, it's a decent feature, but it's, at the end of the day, it's cosmetic, isn't it? FIFA 23's career mode will let you play as top bosses like Guardiola, Ancelotti, etc. Apparently, career mode will now feature over 350 authentic choices, which is a staggering amount. And 30 of those managers will be deemed cream of the crop. In other exciting news, you'll be able to dive into Stevie G's wardrobe, and decide what the ex-Rangers and current Aston Villa gaffer wears for press conferences and on match days. This is all very superficial, yes, sure, but it's nice to have the option to mix things up. Hopefully EA has managed to cram in some other elements that makes playing as these managers worthwhile. Yeah, that's the purpose. Players should want to sign for a club Pep is at, for example, whereas they might not fancy working under someone like Brendan Rodgers or Bruno Lage under, depending on their goals. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I mean, depending on what manager you are, if you are at Man City, you're going to attract better players than someone who's playing for Southampton or Burnley, so we'll see. But anyway, there we go, folks. That is the 10 changes that are coming to career mode. A really good article, actually, from What Culture. So I'll leave the link for that in the description if you want to check it out, but I've just done it for you. So there we have it, and I've given them some views on their website, so it all works. Anyway, we'll be back shortly. There is a lot of things to come later, folks, but I say I'm just kind of taking a little bit break, just giving you guys the news, keeping up to date with what's going on, and kind of going from there. But until next time, subscribe for more. Have a good weekend, folks. Take care.